A text arrives. Words cute like bladers. You clench your fist. Heart races. Mind spins. You want to reply, now. Why does this feel familiar? Each reaction steals your power. Each outburst chips your dignity. You're not controlling. You're controlled. What's slipping away unnoticed? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind. Not their words, not their games. The storm outside can't touch you unless you open the door." When did you last feel UN moved? Are you still holding the line? Or are you sinking again? Before we unravel this, a story needs your ear. Emmenstens at dusk. City hums. Relentless. Loud. His phone buzzes again. Words stab. Sharp. Deliberate. He types a reply. Fast. Fingers shake with anger. His chest tightens. Heavy. He wants to fight back. To prove he's not weak. The screen glows. Mocking. He pauses. Just one breath. Eyes drift to the horizon. A single star cuts through. Epictetus whispers in silence. You control only your mind. He deletes the message. Puts the phone down. The world spins. Unbothered. His heart slows. Steady. He stands taller. Unmoved. Like a tree in storm. Roots deep. Branch still. This is his power. Not in words, but silence. Now, lessons carve the path. To live free. Unshaken. If you see yourself here, we're still here. Quietly. Lesson 1. Chasing validation. Your phone lights up again. A message lands. Heart jumps. You scan it, eyes racing. Their words. Do they approve? Or is it silence? Again. You post something online. Then wait. Breath held. A like. A comment. Enough? You need their nod. Their glance. Their praise. You speak at work. But pause. Mid-sentence. Did they hear your worth? Did they see you? Truly. You shift your tone. Adjust your stance. Slightly. Hoping they'll notice you. Hoping they'll say something. This isn't new, is it? You've felt this before. A room full of eyes. You're waiting for their signal. A nod. A smile. Anything. You're not alone here. Men stand in boardrooms, craving a firm handshake. Others citadinas, watching for her warmth. You chase their gaze. Their words become your mirror. You think it's nothing, just wanting to be seen, just wanting to belong. But it's not nothing. Each glance you seek steals a piece of you. This is chasing validation. It feels small, harmless. You tell yourself it's normal. Everyone does it, right? A colleague's quick respect, a friend's instant reply, a partner's fleeting smile. You lean into it. You build your day around it. You don't even notice how it shapes your voice, how it bends your choices. You're not living, you're performing. For an audience that drifts, their approval feels like power, but it's a hollow kind. It cracks under silence. It shatters with a jab. You've been here before. A meeting falls flat. Your idea brushed aside. You feel it sink deep. Your chest tightens. Slow, you replay the moment. What did you miss? Why didn't they nod? You're tethered to their eyes. This is the first chain, the one you don't see. It's not just one moment, it's every moment after. You start to doubt. Your voice grows quieter. Your steps less bold. You're not just seeking praise. You're handing them control. Each time you chase, you lose a little more. Your confidence frays quietly. Your dignity erodes unnoticed. The world grinds you down. A boss's cold email lands. A friend's sharp joke stings. You feel it, raw. It's not just rejection. It's a wound you carry. You start to shrink. Your world gets smaller. You dodge the spotlight, afraid they won't clap. This is the cost. You're not free anymore. You're tied to their whims. Their moods shape yours. You're not leading yourself. You're chasing their shadows. This is what validation does. It's a slow, silent bleed. It drains your strength. It clouds your focus. You wake up one day, and you're not you. You're their reflection, built from their glances, shaped by their words. This isn't living. This is surviving. Barely. You feel it, don't you? The weight of their eyes, the pull of their silence. It's not just one moment. It's 1,000 cuts. Each one takes something. Your peace, your power. You didn't see it coming, but it's here now. You've stood in rooms, hoping they'd see you. You've waited for texts, hoping they'd respond. You've changed your words, hoping they'd approve. Each time you gave a piece of your core, a slice of your freedom. You thought it was small, just a moment's need. But moments stack up. They build a cage. You're trapped, not by them, but by your own seeking. You've felt the pain when they don't reply, when they don't nod. It's not just their silence. It's what it does to you. You question your worth. You doubt your voice. You wonder, am I enough? This is the trap. You're not chasing praise. You're chasing yourself. But you won't find it. Not in their eyes. Not in their words. You've lost nights to this, replaying their cold glance, rewriting what you said. You've stood before mirrors, asking why you care. You've felt the weight, the ache of needing them, to see you, to know you. This is the first wound, the one that festers. It's not just about them. It's about what you've lost. You've given them power to shape your mood, to steer your thoughts. You've let them in, into your quiet moments, into your sleepless nights. You've carried their silence like a stone in your chest. You've let it define you. This is the real cost. Not just a moment's sting, but a life half-lived. You're not moving forward. You're circling their approval. You've felt this, haven't you? The need to be seen, the pull to be known. It's not just a habit. It's a chain you forged. Link by link, glance by glance. You didn't mean to, but you're here now. The question isn't why. It's what you'll do next. You've stood at this edge, felt the urge to please, to bend, to shift, to be what they want. Each time, you lost a piece of your stillness, a shard of your dignity. You thought it was connection, but it was surrender. You've seen it in others. Men who shrink themselves to fit someone's gaze. They laugh too loud. They nod too fast. They're not themselves anymore. They're echoes of others. You've felt this pull, at work, at home, in quiet moments alone. You check your phone again. You wait for their reply. You wonder what they think. This is the slow theft of your time, your peace, of your right to stand. Without needing their clap, you've carried this weight for weeks, for years. It's not just their words. It's what you've let them do. You've let them carve you into something less. You. This is the deepest cut. Not their silence, but yours. You've stopped speaking your truth. You've stopped walking your path. You've traded your freedom for their fleeting glance. This is chasing validation. It's not just a habit. It's a betrayal of you. You feel it now, don't you? The ache of this truth, the weight of this cage. You've built it yourself, but you hold the key. You've felt the cage, the weight of their eyes. But there's a way out. Seneca knew this truth. He wrote, clear, unflinching, happiness lies within you, not in their fleeting praise, not in their shallow nods. You seek their approval. Why? It's a shadow, not light. It fades, leaves you empty. Stoics saw this clearly. You control your mind, not their words, their glances. Epictetus carved it sharp. You have power over yourself. No, their opinions are theirs, not your burden to carry. You've stood in rooms, waiting for their signal. But what if you didn't? What if you stood unmoved? Picture a man, steady. He speaks, no hesitation. He acts, no doubt, not because they clap, but because he knows himself. This is Stoic freedom. Not chasing, not bending. You don't need their mirror. You are your own reflection. You've seen men crumble, chasing a boss's nod, or a friend's quick text. They lose their voice. They trade their dignity. But you can choose different. You can break the chain. Start with one question. Why do I need this? Ask it when you pause, when you check your phone, when you feel the pull. Why do their eyes matter? Why does their silence cut? You're not a child. You don't need their pat. You've built your worth. Through nights of quiet grit, through days of unseen work. Seneca's words echo still. No one can harm you unless you hand them power. You've done this too long. Adjusted for their gaze, softened for their comfort. But each tweak costs you. A piece of your stillness, a shard of your truth. You've felt this, haven't you? The ache to be enough, the urge to be seen. Stoics cut through this. They built a fortress, not of walls, but mind. You can build it too. Start small. Start now. Next time you seek, pause, breathe, step back. Ask, is this for me, or for their fleeting glance? You've stood before mirrors, wondering if you're enough. You are, without their nod. You always were. Take back your power. Stop asking for their light. You carry your own. When they don't reply, let it pass, like wind. When they don't approve, stand taller, not smaller. You're not here to please. You're here to live. Try this today. Walk into a room. Speak without checking faces. Act without seeking claps. Feel the shift inside. It's not loud, not grand. It's quiet, like dawn. You'll feel your strength, not in their eyes, but in your steady pulse. You've chased long enough. Their approval is sand. It slips through your fingers, but your core remains. Unshaken, unmoved. You don't need their mirror. You've got your own. Start with one moment. A text you don't send. A glance you don't seek. Each choice builds you. Each pause restores you. Seneca saw it clear. You are your own master, not them, not their silence. You felt the pull, the need to be known, but you know yourself. That's enough. Always was. You're not their reflection. You're not their shadow. You're a man, whole. Stand in that truth. Let their words fall. Let their silence fade. You don't need it. You never did. This is the Stoic way. To live for your core. To walk your own path. You've bent for too long. Now, rise, unbothered. Ash step, your own. Ak breath, your freedom. You're not chasing anymore. You're claiming what's yours. You've stopped chasing their eyes. Now, feel the ground shift. You're not their mirror anymore. You're something stronger, you. Each time you pause, you reclaim a piece. Each time you stand, you rebuild your dignity. Picture a man, steady. He walks through noise. Voices clash. Opinions fly. He hears, but doesn't bend. His worth isn't their words. His power isn't their claps. You've been that man before you learned to seek, before you craved their nod. You were whole once. You can be again. Think of the moments. When you didn't check, when you didn't wait, you moved, unbothered, free. That's still in you, buried but not gone. You felt the weight lift. When you let silence pass, when you didn't chase. That's the Stoic spark. It's not loud, not bright. It's quiet, like stone. You've carried their gaze for years, maybe decades. Each glance shaped you. Each silence carved you. But you're not their clay. You're not their shadow. You're a man, rooted. You've stood in rooms, felt their eyes judge, felt their words sting. You thought you needed them to know you, to see you. But you were wrong. You needed yourself. You always did. Now, try this truth. Walk away from their mirror. Speak without their nod. Live without their clap. You'll feel it. Freedom. Not in a burst, but in a steady hum. You're not chasing validation. You're claiming your core. Picture a tree. Tall. Winds howl. Branches sway, but roots hold firm. That's you, now. Their words are wind. Their silence, just air. You stand, unmoved. You've lost enough time, replaying their cold looks, rewriting what you said. You've lost enough peace, waiting for their signal. No more. You're done bending. You're done seeking. You're done shrinking. This is your moment. To rise, not for them, but for you. Seneca's voice lingers. You are enough. Not because they say so, but because you are. You've felt this truth. In quiet moments alone, when no one watched, you knew your worth. You felt your strength. That's the man you are. Not their reflection, not their echo. You've stood at this edge, felt the pull to please, but you've also stood firm. In moments no one saw. You've carried your own light. You've walked your own path. That's the Stoic way. To live for your truth. To stand in your stillness. You don't need their eyes. You never did. Those are. When you stop chasing, when you start being, you're not their mirror. You're your own man. Lesson 2. Clinging to outcomes. You grip the plan tightly. The job must come through. The deal must close now. The house must be yours. You map every step, each detail, carved in stone. You lie awake, replaying. What if it falls apart? Your mind spins, relentless. You check emails. Again, you call, you push, you wait. It has to happen, right? This is your future. This is your worth. You tell yourself it's effort, just working for the goal. But it's not just effort. It's clinging to outcomes. You've done this before. A promotion you chased. Nights spent perfecting slides. You saw the corner office. You felt the title already. It was yours, wasn't it? Then the email came. Not this time, it said. Your stomach dropped. Hard. You didn't just lose the job. You lost a piece of you. You felt this weight. When the offer fell through, when the contract didn't sign, you planned every move. You saw it so clearly. The win, the success. But life doesn't follow. It twists, it shifts. And you're left, stranded. You think it's ambition, just wanting to succeed. But it's more than that. It's tying your soul to things you can't control. You've sat in meetings, hands clenched under tables, praying they say yes. You've stood by phones, waiting for the call. Each second, a lifetime. You're not just hoping, you're chaining yourself to a future you imagined. This is the trap. You don't just want it. You need it to breathe. You've built your peace on sand, not stone. When it shifts, you fall. You've seen it in others. Men who chase the deal. Their eyes, hollow, restless. They win, but they're empty. They lose, and they break. You've felt this pull, at work, at home. The need to make it happen, to force the world's hand. But the world doesn't bend. It moves, unbothered, and you're left, grasping. This is the first cost. You lose your stillness. You trade your peace for a dream you can't hold. You wake up tense, your jaw clenched tight, your mind already racing. What if it doesn't work? What if you fail? You're not living now. You're living for tomorrow. And tomorrow doesn't owe you. You've carried this weight for weeks, for years. Each plan, a new chain. Each goal, a new cage. You thought it was drive, but it's something heavier. It's not just the goal. It's what it's doing to you. You've lost sleep to this, replaying what might happen, rewriting what went wrong. You've stood before mirrors, asking if you're enough. You've felt the pain, When the plan crumbled, when the door closed, it's not just a loss, it's a wound you carry. You question your worth. You doubt your strength. You wonder, am I failing? This is the slow theft of your time, your calm, of your right to rest. You've let it define you. The job, the deal, the win. You've let it steer you away from your core. You've traded your freedom for a future you can't grasp. This is clinging to outcomes. It's not just a habit, it's a betrayal of now. You feel it, don't you? The ache of this grip, the weight of this need. You've built this cage, but you can step out. You've gripped the plan too long. Now, loosen your hands. The Stoics saw this trap. They sailed through storms, knowing the sea doesn't bend. Epictetus cut it clear. Control your mind, not waves. Outcomes are like water. They slip through your fingers. You can't hold the tide, but you can steer yourself. Picture a ship, steady. Waves crash, winds howl. The captain doesn't curse. He adjusts the sails. This is Stoic wisdom. Not fighting the storm, but moving through it, unmoved. You've chased the perfect deal, lost nights to what-ifs. But what if you didn't? What if you let go? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept what comes, calmly, not with clenched fists, but with open hands." You don't need the win, you need your peace. You've seen men break, tied to deals that failed, tied to plans that crumbled, their faces etched with loss. They didn't just lose the goal, they lost themselves. You can choose different. You can break the chain. Start with one truth. You control your effort, not the world's reply. Next time you plan, pause, breathe, step back, ask, what can I shape? Your work, your focus, not their yes, their no. You've stood in meetings, heart racing for their nod. You've waited by phones, praying for the call. But you don't need it. You never did. The Stoics built a fortress, not of stone, but mind. You can build it too. Start small, start now. Write the email, then release. Make the call, then rest. Do your part, then stop. The outcome isn't yours. It never was. You felt the weight lift when you let it go, when you didn't cling. That's the Stoic spark. It's not loud, not grand. It's quiet. Like dawn, you'll feel your strength, not in the wind, but in your steady breath. You've pushed too hard, forcing doors to open. But doors open when they do, or they stay shut. Either way, you stand. You don't need the key. You need your stillness. Try this today. Plan, but don't grip. Work, but don't chase. Act, but don't demand. Feel the shift inside. It's not a victory. It's a deeper freedom. You're not the outcome. You're the man who moves. Through storms, through silence. You've lost enough sleep, replaying what might fail. Rewriting what went wrong. No more. You're done clinging. You're done waiting. This is your moment to act, not for results, but for your own truth. Epictetus saw it sharp. You are your own master, not the deal, not the win. You've felt the pull, the need to make it happen, but you are enough. Without the yes, the nod, you've carried your own light. Through nights no one saw. That's the Stoic way. To live for your effort, to stand in your focus. You don't need the outcome. You never did. You're not the plan's shadow. You're a man, whole. Stand in that truth. Let the waves crash. Let the winds howl. You sail, unmoved. You've bent for too long. Now, rise, unbothered. Each step your own. Each breath your freedom. You're not clinging anymore. You're living. Now, you've let go of outcomes. Now, feel the waves settle. You're not the storm's prisoner. You're the captain, steady. Each plan you release restores a piece of you. Each step, untethered, rebuilds your stillness. Picture a ship, alone. Horizon vast, sky heavy. Waves rise, then fall. The captain doesn't flinch. His strength isn't the sea, it's his grip on the helm. You've been that captain. Before you clung to plans, before you chased the wind, you moved, unburdened, free. That strength lives in you, buried but not lost. You've felt the calm, when you didn't force it, when you let it be. That's the Stoic flame, quiet but unyielding. It burns without their nod. You've carried their weight, for years, maybe longer. Each goal shaped your days, each miss carved your nights, but you're not their tide. You're not their current. You're a man, anchored. You've stood in rooms, felt the deal slip away, felt the plan dissolve. You thought you needed it to prove you were enough, but you were wrong. You needed your mind. You always did. Now, hold this truth. Sail without gripping the sea. Act without owning the wind. Live without forcing the stars. You'll feel it. Freedom, not in the win, but in the steady now. You're not the outcome. You're the man who stands. Through chaos, through silence, you've lost enough time, replaying what didn't land, rewriting what went wrong. You've lost enough peace, waiting for their yes, no more. You're done breaking. You're done sinking. This is your moment. To move, not for wins, but for your own path. Marcus Aurelius saw it. Live for today's truth, not tomorrow's shadow. You felt the pull, the need to control it, but you are enough. Without the deal, the prize, you've carried your own fire, through nights no one saw. That's the Stoic way, to live for your effort, to stand in your calm. You don't need the outcome. You never did. Stillness. When you stop forcing, when you start being, you're not the plan's echo. You're your own man. The storm may rage, the waves may crash, but you sail on. Your helm, your hands, your peace, your power. You've bent for too long, chasing what wasn't yours. Now, rise, unbothered. Each breath, your own. Each choice, your freedom. You're not tethered anymore. You're alive. Now. Lesson 3. Reacting to insults. Our word lands, sharp. It cuts, deep, deliberate. Your jaw tightens, fists clench. You feel the heat rise. You want to strike back, to match their venom. Their smirk fuels your anger. You're ready to erupt. This feels so familiar. A colleague's sly jab, a friend's careless slight, a stranger's cold sneer. You've been here before. Their words hit like stones. You think it's just them, just a moment's sting. But it's not just them, it's you, reacting. This is the first mistake. You let their words in. You let them pierce you. You think it's strength, to fire back, to win. But it's not strength, it's surrender. To them, you've seen the pattern. A meeting, voices clash. Someone questions your work. Their tone drips with scorn. You feel it, raw. Your pulse races, loud. You speak, voice sharp. You defend, you attack. But the room grows quiet. You didn't win, you lost. Not the argument, your dignity. You've carried this weight. Their words echo, relentless. You replay the moment. What you should have said, what you should have done. You lose sleep to this. Their insult becomes your chain. You're not just stung, you're tethered to their spite. This is the slow trap. You think you're fighting back, but you're fighting yourself. You've seen others fall. Men who shout, who rage, their faces red, veins taut. They think they're strong, but they're brittle, fragile. One word breaks them. One jab undoes them. You've felt this pull. At work, in crowds, a comment lands, unasked. It's not just the words, it's what they do to you. You shrink, or you snap. Either way, you lose. you lose your stillness, you lose your power. You've stood in moments, felt their words burn, felt your control slip. You thought you had to answer, to prove they're wrong, but you didn't. You never did. This is the real cost. Not their insult, but yours. You betray your own peace. You hand them your mind. You've walked away shaken, their words stuck, heavy. You've questioned your worth because of their sneer. This is the wound, not their voice, but yours. You let it echo. You let it define you. You've seen it in others, men who crumble, silent, or lash out, loud. They're not themselves anymore. They're echoes of the insult. You felt this sting, in quiet moments, alone. Their words creep back. They steal your calm. They cloud your focus. This is the theft of your time, your strength, of your right to stand. You've carried their venom like a stone in your chest. You've let it fester. This is reacting to insults. It's not just a moment. It's a chain you wear. You feel it, don't you? The burn of their words, the urge to strike back. You've built this fire, but you can let it die. The Stoics faced sharper blades, words meant to break them, yet they stood, unmoved. Epictetus saw it clear. No one harms you, unless you open the gate. Their insults are theirs, not your burden to carry. You felt the sting, but you can choose to let it pass. Picture a man, steady. A colleague mocks his work. Eyes turn, room stills. He breathes, slow, deliberate. He speaks, voice calm, or he says nothing. His dignity stays whole. This is Stoic strength, not in shouting back, but in holding your ground. You've seen the other path. Men who snap, who rage. Their words, loud, empty. They win the moment, but lose their core. You can walk differently. You can break the chain. Start with one truth. Their words aren't you. Their noise, not truth. Next time it lands, pause, feel the burn. Then let it fade. Ask, does this define me? It doesn't. Never did. Epictetus carved it deep. You control your response, not their venom, their smirk. You've stood in fire, felt the urge to strike, but you've also stood firm. In moments no one saw, you've held your peace. Through storms no one felt. This is your power, not in their silence, but in your stillness. You don't need to answer. You don't need to win. You need your mind. You always have. Try this. Today, hear the jab, feel it, then breathe. Count to 5. Let their words dissolve. Like smoke in wind, you'll feel the shift. Not loud, not grand. Quiet, like stone. You're not their echo. You're not their fire. You're a man, whole. You've lost enough calm, replaying their sharp words, reliving their cold sneer. No more. You're done reacting. You're done burning. This is your moment to stand, not for them, but for your own truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed. Their words can't touch you unless you let them." You felt the pull, the need to prove them wrong, but you are enough. Without their nod, their clap, you've carried your own light through nights no one saw. That's the Stoic way, to live for your core, to stand in your calm. You don't need their fight. You never did. You're not their battle. You're your own man. Let their words fall. Let their venom fade. You stand, unmoved. You've bent for too long, answering their every jab. Now, rise, unbothered. Each breath, your own. Each choice, your freedom. You're not reacting anymore. You're living, now. Im lang. Sức mạnh thật sự. You're not their flame. You're your own anchor. Lesson 4. Dwelling on past mistakes. You wake, and it's there. A shadow from years ago. Words you shouldn't have said. A choice you can't undo. You replay it. Again. The meeting you fumbled. The chance you let slip. The fight that broke trust. It plays like a loop. Your stomach twists tight. You see every detail. The look in their eyes. The silence that followed. You think it's just memory. Just a fleeting thought. But it's not fleeting. It's dwelling on mistakes. You carry this weight. Through mornings, through nights. A moment you can't change. A wound you keep open. You've been here before. Staring at old emails. Reading texts from years back. You see your younger self. Clumsy, unsure, flawed. You wince at the memory. Why did you say that? Why didn't you act? You judge that man as if he's still you. This is the first chain. You're not just remembering, you're punishing yourself. You've seen others do it. Men who talk of failures, their voices low, heavy. They're not here. Not really. They're trapped in yesterday. You've felt this pull. At work, at home, a mistake haunts your steps. It's not just the error. It's what it does to you. You doubt your next move. You question your worth. You shrink just a little. This is the slow theft of your peace, your focus. You lose your present to a past you can't fix. You've lain awake, replaying the deal you didn't close, the words you let fly. You think you're learning, but you're not learning. You're bleeding silently. You've stood before mirrors, seeing only what went wrong. You've carried the pain of moments you can't redo. It's not just regret. It's a cage you built. You lock yourself in with keys you don't see. You've seen it in others. Men who carry old wounds. Their shoulders sag slightly. They speak of what was, not what is, not what could be. You've felt this weight. In quiet moments alone, the past creeps in, unasked. It steals your calm. It clouds your strength. You've let it linger. Like a guest who overstays. You've let it shape you. This is the real cost. Not the mistake itself, but the life it steals. You're not moving forward. You're circling old scars. You've lost enough time, reliving what can't change. You've lost enough light to shadows you can't fight. You thought it was reflection, but it was surrender. You felt this, haven't you? The ache of old errors, the pull of what was. It's not just a memory, it's a chain you wear. You didn't mean to, but you're here now. This is dwelling on mistakes. It's not just a thought, it's a betrayal of now. You feel it, don't you? The burn of what was, the weight of what's gone. You've built this prison, but you can walk free. You've carried the past too long. Now, set it down. The Stoics saw this trap. They walked through ruins, yet built lives of strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Today is all you have, not yesterday's shadows, not mistakes carved in stone. You dwell on old errors. Why? They're ghosts, not chains. They hold no power unless you give it." Picture a man, still. He sits at dawn. Memories of failure rise. Words he shouldn't have said. He feels the old sting, but he breathes, slow. He lets them pass, like leaves on a stream. This is Stoic freedom, not fighting the past, but living now. You've seen the other path. Men who clutch old wounds. Their eyes, distant, heavy. They're not here, not fully. They're lost in what was. You can choose different. You can break the cycle. Start with one truth. The past isn't you. It's a moment, gone. Next time it creeps, pause, feel the weight. Then let it drift. Ask, does this serve me? It doesn't, never did. Marcus Aurelius saw it. You are not your errors. Only what you do now. You've stood in shadows, felt the pull of regret, but you've also stood firm. In moments no one saw. You've moved past pain, through nights of quiet grit. This is your strength. Not in erasing mistakes, but in rising above them. You don't need to rewrite. You don't need to redo. You need your mind. You always have. Try this today. See the memory rise. Feel its familiar ache. Then breathe. Count to 3. Let it dissolve. Soft. Like ash in wind. You'll feel the shift. Not loud. Not grand. Quiet. Like stone. You're not your past. You're not your failures. You're a man. Whole. You've lost enough time. Replaying what can't change. Reliving what went wrong. No more. You're done dwelling. You're done bleeding. This is your moment. To live, not for yesterday, but for your own now. Epictetus, cut it sharp. Focus on what's yours. Your thoughts. Your actions. Not the ghosts of before. You've felt the pull. The need to fix what was. But you are enough. Without rewriting the past. You've carried your own light. Through nights no one saw. That's the Stoic way. To live for your present. To stand in your calm. You don't need to erase. You never did. You're not your mistakes. You're your own man. Let the past rest. Let the shadows fade. You stand. Unmoved. You've bent for too long. Carrying what's long gone. Now rise. Unbothered. Each breath. Your own. Each choice. Your freedom. You're not dwelling anymore. You're alive. Now. Quá khứ cháy. You bước đi. You're not its prisoner. You're your own anchor. Lessons sink. Overthinking others' opinions. You walk into the room. Heads turn. Eyes linger. What are they thinking? Their silence feels heavy. You adjust your words. You soften your tone. Hoping they approve. Somehow. A colleague's glance shifts. A friend's reply slows. Your mind starts to race. Do they respect you or do they judge? You check your phone. No reply. Heart sinks. You replay the moment. What did you do wrong? You think it's nothing. Just caring what they think. But it's not nothing. It's overthinking their opinions. You've been here before. A meeting ends. Quiet. Your idea. Brushed aside. You feel their eyes. Did they doubt your worth? You carry it home. You dissect every word. You rewrite what you said. Their thoughts become your cage. You've seen this pattern. A text left unanswered. A joke that didn't land. You feel it. Sharp. Not just the moment, but what it means. You question your place. You doubt your voice. This is the first chain. You're not just wondering, you're chaining yourself to their fleeting thoughts. You've seen others bend. Men who watch faces. Their laughs, too eager. Their nods, too quick. They're not themselves anymore. They're mirrors of others. You've felt this pull. At work, in crowds. Their silence feels like judgment. Their words feel like verdicts. It's not just their thoughts. It's what they do to you. You shrink, just a little. You speak, less bold. You lose your stillness. You lose your power. You've stood in moments, felt their gaze weigh you, felt their pause define you. You thought you needed it. Their nod, their approval. But you didn't. You never did. This is the real cost. Not their opinion, but yours. You betray your own truth. You hand them your mind. You've walked away shaken. Their silence stuck, heavy. You've questioned your worth. Because of their glance, this is the wound. Not their thoughts, but yours. You let them echo. You let them steer you. You've seen it in others. Men who chase approval. Their shoulders sag, slightly. They speak to please. Not to live, not to be. You felt this weight. In quiet moments alone. Their opinions creep in. They steal your calm. They cloud your focus. You've let them linger, like smoke in your chest. You've let them shape you. This is the slow theft of your time, your strength, of your right to stand. You've carried their thoughts, like stones in your pockets. You've let them weigh you. This is overthinking opinions. It's not just a habit, it's a betrayal of you. You feel it, don't you? The ache of their gaze, the pull of their silence. You've built this cage, but you can walk free. You've carried their thoughts too long. Now, let them fall. The Stoics saw this cage. They faced crowds, unmoved. Seneca wrote, sharp, clear. No one owns your worth, not their glance, their silence. You overthink their opinions. Why? They're shadows, not truth. They fade, leave you empty. Picture a man, steady. He speaks, no hesitation. A room watches, judges. He feels their eyes, but he doesn't bend. His voice stays firm. His heart stays still. This is Stoic freedom, not chasing their nod, but standing in your truth. You've seen the other path. Men who twist themselves to fit another's gaze. Their words, too careful. Their steps, too small. They lose their core. You can choose different. You can break the chain. Start with one question. Why do their thoughts matter? Ask it when you pause, when you feel the pull. Their silence isn't judgment. It's just their silence. Epictetus saw it clear. You control your mind, not their fleeting thoughts. You've stood in rooms, felt their gaze weigh you, but you've also stood firm. In moments no one saw, you've held your ground through nights of quiet strength. This is your power, not in their approval, but in your steady pulse. You don't need their nod. You don't need their clap. You need your truth. You always have. Try this today. Feel their silence land. Feel the urge to shrink. Then breathe. Count to 4. Let their thoughts dissolve. Like dust in wind, you'll feel the shift. Not loud, not grand, quiet. Like stone, you're not their mirror. You're not their echo. You're a man, whole. You've lost enough calm. Replaying their cold glance. Reliving their faint pause. No more. You're done overthinking. You're done bending. This is your moment. To stand, not for them, but for your own core. Seneca's words echo. You are your own judge. Their opinions can't touch you. Unless you let them, you felt the pull, the need to be seen. But you see yourself. That's enough. Always was. You've carried your own light. Through nights no one saw. That's the Stoic way. To live for your truth. To stand in your calm. You don't need their thoughts. You never did. You're not their shadow. You're your own man. Let their silence pass. Let their glances fade. You stand, unmoved. You've bent for too long, shaping to their eyes. Now, rise, unbothered. Each breath your own. Each choice, your freedom. You're not overthinking anymore. You're living now. Hanoi, you, Vandung. You're not their verdict. You're your own anchor. You've stopped chasing their thoughts. Now, feel the air clear. You're not their shadow anymore. You're something stronger. You, pause you take, reclaims a piece of you. Each step, unburdened, restores your dignity. Picture a man, alone. He walks through the noise. Voix murmure, eyes judge. He hears, but doesn't flinch. His worth isn't their gaze. His power isn't their words. You've been that man. Before you learned to shrink, before you sought their nod, you were whole once. You can be again. You felt the calm when you didn't check, when you didn't care. You moved, unbothered, free. That's still in you, buried, but not gone. You've carried their weight for years, maybe decades. Each glance shaped your steps. Each pause carved your doubts. But you're not their clay. You're not their echo. You're a man, rooted. You've stood in crowds, felt their silence sting, felt their eyes measure. You thought you needed them to see you, to know you, but you were wrong. You needed yourself. You always did. Now, hold this truth. Walk without their mirror. Speak without their verdict. Live without their gaze. You'll feel it. Freedom, not in a rush, but in a quiet hum. You're not their opinions. You're claiming your core. Picture a tree, tall. Winds howl, leaves fall, but roots hold firm. That's you, now. Their thoughts are wind, their silence, just air. You stand, unmoved. You've lost enough time, replaying their faint pause, rewriting what they meant. You've lost enough peace, waiting for their signal. No more. You're done shrinking, you're done seeking, you're done bending. This is your moment to rise, not for them, but for you. Seneca's voice lingers. You are enough, not because they say so, but because you are. You've felt this truth in quiet moments alone, when no one watched. You knew your worth. You felt your strength. That's the man you are, not their reflection, not their judgment. You've stood at this edge, felt the pull to please, but you've also stood firm. In moments no one saw, you've carried your own light, you've walked your own path. That's the Stoic way, to live for your core, to stand in your stillness. You don't need their eyes. You never did. Those are. When you stop overthinking, when you start being, you're not their verdict. You're your own man. Lesson 6. Feeding anger. A spark ignites inside. Words land, sharp, unasked. Your chest tightens, hot. Their smirk fuels the flame. You feel it surge. Anger. You want to lash out, to burn them with words. Your pulse races, loud. You think it's just heat, just a moment's fire. But it's not just heat, it's feeding your anger. You've been here before. A colleague's careless jab, a driver's reckless cut, a friend's cold betrayal. Their words hit like blades. You feel the urge to shout, to strike back. You think it's strength, to let the fire roar. But it's not strength, it's surrender to flame. You've seen the pattern. A meeting turns tense. Someone doubts your worth. Their tone, sharp, mocking. You snap, voice rising. Words spill, uncontrolled. The room falls silent. You didn't win. You lost. Not the fight. You're calm. You've carried this fire through days, through nights. Their slight becomes your fuel. You replay the moment. What you could have said, what you should have done. You stoke the flame. You let it consume you. This is the first chain. You're not just angry. You're chaining yourself to their fleeting words. You've seen others burn. Men who rage, who shout, their eyes wild, untamed. They think they're strong, but they're fragile, brittle. One spark breaks them. One word undoes them. You've felt this pull. At work, on streets. Their actions light the fuse. It's not just their slight, it's what it does to you. You clench your fists. You lose your breath. You lose your stillness. You lose your power. You've stood in moments, felt the fire rise, felt your control slip. You thought you had to fight, to prove you're not weak, but you didn't. You never did. This is the real cost. Not their words, but yours. You betray your own peace. You feed your own pain. You've walked away burning. Their jab stuck, heavy. You've replayed their smirk. You've let it define you. This is the wound. Not their spark, but yours. You let it blaze. You let it shape you. You've seen it in others. Men who carry rage. Their voices, sharp, jagged. They're not themselves anymore. They're echoes of the flame. You've felt this heat, in quiet moments alone. The spark creeps back. It steals your calm. It clouds your focus. You've let it burn. Like a fire you tend. You've let it grow. This is the slow theft of your time, your strength, of your right to rest. You've fed this anger like a beast in your chest. You've let it roar. This is feeding anger. It's not just a moment. It's a chain you forge. You feel it, don't you? The burn of the flame, the pull of the fight. You've built this fire, but you can let it die. You've fed the flame too long. Now, Starve it out. The Stoics faced worse fires. Crowds jeered, empires shook, yet they stood, unmoved. Seneca saw it clear. Anger is your own punishment. Their sparks don't burn you. You burn yourself. Picture a blaze, wild. It devours the forest, but it starts small. A single, careless spark. You are not the blaze. You are the spark. You choose what burns. You felt the heat rise. A jab lands, unasked. Your chest tightens, fast. You want to strike back, but what if you didn't? What if you let go? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose peace over chaos." Not the fight, but calm. You don't need the fire. You need your stillness. You've seen men consumed. Rage spills, words cut, their faces twisted, lost. They think they're strong, but they're slaves to anger. You can choose different. You can break the chain. Start with one truth. Their words aren't your flame. They're smoke, not fire. Next time it sparks, pause, feel the heat, then breathe, count to 10. Let the ember fade. Ask, is this worth me? It isn't, never was. Epictetus carved it deep. You control your response. Not their jab, their smirk. You've stood in flames, felt the urge to burn, but you've also stood firm. In moments no one saw. You've tamed the fire. Through nights of quiet grit. This is your power, not in the blaze, but in your steady breath. You don't need to fight. You don't need to roar. You need your mind. You always have. Try this, today. Feel the spark ignite. Feel the pull to rage. Then pause, close your eyes. Let the heat dissolve. Like mist in dawn, you'll feel the shift. Not loud, not grand, quiet, like stone. You're not the flame. You're not the fight. You're a man, whole. You've lost enough peace, replaying their sharp words, reliving their cold sneer. No more. You're done feeding anger. You're done burning. This is your moment to stand, not for fights, but for your own truth. Seneca's words echo. You are your own master. Their sparks can't touch you unless you let them. You've felt the pull, the need to strike back, but you are enough. Without the fire, the roar, you've carried your own light through nights no one saw. That's the Stoic way, to live for your core, to stand in your calm. You don't need the blaze. You never did. You're not their spark. You're your own man. Let their words fade. Let their venom pass. You stand, unmoved. You've burned for too long, fueling what wasn't yours. Now, rise, unbothered. Breath your own, each choice. Your freedom. You're not feeding anger anymore. You're living, now. Lửa tắt, you bất động. You're not their flame. You're your own anchor. Lesson 7. Seeking control over chaos. You plan every detail. The meeting must go right. The project must succeed. The day must unfold perfectly. You check. You double-check. Emails sent. Lists made. You grip the wheel tight. Nothing can go wrong, but then it does. A call doesn't come. A deadline slips unnoticed. A colleague drops the ball. Your chest tightens. Fast. You feel the world tilt. You need to fix it. You need to control it. You think it's just effort, just keeping things in line. But it's not just effort. It's seeking control over chaos. You've been here before. A deal falls apart. You scramble to save it. Hours spent, nights lost. You thought you could force it. You thought you could win. But the chaos didn't bend. It never does. You've felt this weight. When plans unravel, quick. When life ignores your script, you push harder, louder. You clench your fists. You think it's strength, but it's not strength. It's surrender to chaos. You've seen the pattern. A morning starts wrong. Traffic's yums, emails pile. You fight to catch up. Your voice grows sharp. Your patience wears thin. You're not leading now. You're chasing the storm. This is the first chain. You're not just planning. You're chaining yourself to things you can't hold. You've seen others try. Men who micromanage life. Their eyes tense, restless. They shout. They push. They think they're in charge. But they're fragile, brittle. One slip breaks them. One miss undoes them. You've felt this pull. At work, at home. The need to make it right. To force the world's hand. It's not just the task. It's what it does to you. You lose your breath. You lose your calm. You lose your power. You've stood in moments. Felt the chaos rise. Felt your grip tighten. You thought you had to steer. To make it all align. But you didn't. You never did. This is the real cost. Not the chaos itself, but what you give it. You trade your peace. You hand it your mind. You've walked away drained. The day didn't go right. You've replayed the mess. You've questioned your strength. This is the wound, not the world's mess, but your need to control it. You've seen it in others. Men who chase perfection, their shoulders taut. Heavy. They're not here, not fully. They're lost in what's next. You've felt this weight in quiet moments alone. The chaos creeps in. It steals your rest. It clouds your focus. You've let it linger. Like a storm you fight. You've let it shape you. This is the slow theft of your time, your strength, of your right to stand. You've sought control. Like a tide you can't hold. You've let it pull you. This is seeking chaos's reins. It's not just a habit. It's a betrayal of now. You feel it, don't you? The ache of this grip, the pull of this fight. You've built this cage, but you can step free. You've fought the chaos too long. Now, loosen your grip. The Stoics faced wilder storms. Empires fell, wars raged. Yet they stood, unmoved. Epictetus carved it clear. Control your mind, not fate. No, chaos is not yours to tame. You tame yourself. Picture a river, fierce. It rushes, unstoppable. A man stands on shore. He doesn't fight the current. He chooses his path. He walks, steady, calm. This is Stoic strength, not forcing the world, but mastering your response. You've pushed against life, tried to steer every turn, lost nights to broken plans. But what if you didn't? What if you let go? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept what is, calmly, not with clenched fists, but with open hands." You don't need to control. You need your peace. You've seen men break, chasing perfect outcomes. Their voices sharp, strained. They fight, they push, they lose their core. You can choose different. You can break the chain. Start with one truth. You control your actions, not the world's chaos. Next time it unravels, pause, feel the storm, then breathe, step back, ask, what's mine to do? Your effort, your focus, not their delays, their mess. Epictetus saw it sharp. You own your response, not the world's disorder. You've stood in chaos, felt the urge to fix, but you've also stood firm. In moments no one saw, you've held your ground through nights of quiet grit. This is your power, not in taming chaos, but in your steady pulse. You don't need to force. You don't need to win. You need your mind. You always have. Try this today. See the plan unravel. Feel the pull to fight. Then pause, count to 5. Let the storm pass. Like clouds in wind, you'll feel the shift. Not loud, not grand. Quiet, like stone. You're not the chaos. You're not the storm. You're a man, whole. You've lost enough calm, replaying what went wrong, reliving what didn't work. No more. You're done fighting chaos. You're done chasing control. This is your moment. To stand, not for order, but for your own truth. Marcus Aurelius saw it. Live for what's yours. Your choices, your calm, not the world's mess. You felt the pull, the need to make it right. But you are enough. Without forcing the tide, you've carried your own light. Through nights no one saw. That's the Stoic way. To live for your core. To stand in your stillness. You don't need control. You never did. You're not the storm's pawn. You're your own man. Let the chaos rage. Let the plans shift. You stand unmoved. You've gripped for too long, fighting what wasn't yours. Now, rise, unbothered. Each breath, your own. Each choice, your freedom. You're not seeking control anymore. You're living now. Kiểm soát, chỉ cần tâm trí. You're not the chaos. You're your own anchor. Lesson ought, living for others' expectations. You wake to their voices, not loud, but constant. Be stronger, they say. Be smarter. Be better. You dress for their eyes. You speak for their nod. Your steps, not your own. You chase their ideal you. A boss expects results. A friend demands your time. A partner wants your mask. You bend. You shift. You think it's just duty. Just keeping the peace. But it's not just duty. It's living for expectations. You've been here before. A meeting. High stakes. You push to impress. Not for you. For them. Their approval feels like air. You need it to breathe. But when it's not there, you suffocate, silently. You felt this weight. When you say yes, when you mean no, you smile to please. You hide to avoid. You think it's connection. But it's not connection. It's surrender to them. You've seen the pattern. A family dinner, tense. You play the good son. You swallow your truth. You laugh, but it's hollow. You're not you anymore. You're their version of you. This is the first chain. You're not just living. You're performing for them. You've seen others fade. Men who chase the script. Their voices too eager. Their smiles too forced. They're not themselves anymore. They're shadows of others. You've felt this pull. At work, at home. Their expectations shape you. Their silence feels like failure. It's not just their wants. It's what they do to you. You shrink to fit. You stretch to please. You lose your stillness. You lose your core. You've stood in moments, felt their eyes define you, felt their needs steer you. You thought you had to be loved, to belong, but you didn't. You never did. This is the real cost. Not their demands, but yours. You betray your own path. You trade your own mind. You've walked away empty. Their nod wasn't enough. You've questioned your worth because you didn't meet their vision of you. This is the wound. Not their expectations, but your need to fulfill them. You've seen it in others. Men who live for others. Their shoulders sag, heavy. They speak to appease, not to live, not to be. You've felt this weight in quiet moments alone. Their demands creep in. They steal your peace. They cloud your strength. You've let them linger, like chains you don't see. You've let them shape you. This is the slow theft of your time, your truth, of your right to be. You've lived for expectations, like a role you didn't choose. You've let it mold you. This is the deepest cut. Not their wants, but yours. You've lost yourself, trying to be their you. You feel it, don't you? The ache of this mask, the pull of this role. You've built this cage, but you can step free. You've worn their mask too long. Now, take it off. The Stoics saw this trap. They faced kings, crowds, yet lived for themselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be true to your nature, not their demands, their scripts. You chase their expectations. Why? Their shadows, not you. They fade, leave you empty. Picture a man, still. He stands at dawn. Voices whisper, "Be more." He hears, but doesn't bend. He walks his own path. His heart stays steady. This is Stoic freedom. Not pleasing, not performing, but being truly you. You've seen the other path. Men who live for nods. Their words, too careful. Their steps, too small. They lose their fire. They lose their truth. You can choose different. You can break the chain. Start with one question. Who am I living for? Ask it when you pause. When you feel their pull, their wants aren't your duty. Their noise, not truth. Epictetus saw it clear. You own your purpose. Allah, not their needs, their eyes. You've stood in their gaze, felt the urge to shift, but you've also stood firm. In moments no one saw, you've held your ground through nights of quiet strength. This is your power, not in their approval, but in your steady core. You don't need their script. You don't need their role. You need your mind. You always have. Try this today. Feel their demands rise. Feel the pull to please. Then breathe. Count to 3. Let their wants dissolve. Like dust in wind, you'll feel the shift. Not loud, not grand. Quiet, like stone. You're not their puppet. You're not their mask. You're a man, whole. You've lost enough truth. Shaping to their wants. Hiding to fit in. No more. You're done performing. You're done bending. This is your moment. To live, not for them, but for your own soul. Marcus Aurelius saw it. Your life is yours. Not their expectations, their rules. You've felt the pull, the need to be their you. But you are enough. Without their nod, their clap. You've carried your own light. Through nights no one saw. That's the Stoic way. To live for your essence. To stand in your stillness. You don't need their mold. You never did. You're not their shadow. You're your own man. Let their demands fade. Let their voices pass. You stand, unmoved. You've bent for too long, living for their script. Now, rise, unbothered. Each breath, your own. Each choice, your freedom. You're not theirs anymore. You're alive. Now, trống rỗng, chỉ khi bạn quên mình. You're not their role. You're your own anchor. You've shed their script. Now, feel the ground firm. You're not their shadow anymore. You're something deeper. You. Each choice you make reclaims a piece of truth. Our step, unscripted, restores your stillness. Picture a man, alone. He stands at dusk. Voices fade, demands hush. He breathes, slow, deliberate. His worth isn't their nod. His power isn't their role. You've been that man. Before you learned to bend, before you wore their mask, you were whole once. You can be again. You felt the calm. When you didn't shift, when you didn't please, you walked. Unbound, free, that's still in you. Buried, but not lost. You've carried their weight for years, maybe longer. Each demand shaped your days. Each expectation carved your nights. But you're not their clay. You're not their echo. You're a man, rooted. You've stood in their gaze, felt their wants define you, felt their silence judge you. You thought you needed it, their approval, their script. But you were wrong. You needed yourself. You always did. Now, hold this truth. Live without their mold. Speak without their lines. Be without their chains. You'll feel it. Freedom. Not in a rush, but in a quiet pulse. You're not their expectations. You're claiming your